everybody, Mark McCrae here. Welcome back to our Introduction to Modeling in Maya tutorial series. And this video is going to be about customizing Maya. First thing we'll look at is workspaces. You can see I've got my own workspace. Once you've got your Maya completely customized, you can just save your current workspace as, save it whatever name you want, and load that whenever you need it. But you can also change between different workspaces. So if I wanted the modeling standard mode, you can see how it changes the layout and outputs, puts me in the modeling toolkit, just the attribute editor. And if we go to modeling expert, it just gets rid of everything, expecting that you're just going to be using marking menus and hotkeys. And then sculpting and pose sculpting, things that you probably won't use very often. The sculpting tools in Maya are not very good. UV editing is pretty much the way I set up my UV. I just don't bother to switch between the workspaces, but that's definitely a great way. We can see when we go back to mine. And then there's the XGen. Rigging is one that you will probably use often, especially if you're doing character stuff, and of course animation to use those rigs. Now you can use, you can rig and animate out of any workspace. It's just these workspaces are optimized for different tasks. So you can see I have panel for my UV editor sitting right there. I've got the UV toolkit ready to just pop out. And I like to have these different boxes and things available at the click. Your panels you can also alter in many different ways. So you can create new panels, and it'll give you a new camera that you can then set the view on, name it, and save it. You can, of course, change between all the different orthographic views, all these different types of panel sets. So say I wanted script editor, super easy. You can tear off panels so that you can move them around, put them on a second screen. You can dock them. Thing that has a tab or a window, you can then dock somewhere else on the screen. One really great way to use the tear off and extra panels is to use the multiple rendering ports, or even if you want to do a render display. Now, one of the biggest ways that you can customize Maya is by editing your shelves. And you can see I've made some changes to the polymodeling shelf. If you look at your own, you'll see that it looks very different from mine. You can also there's a pre-made empty custom shelf that you can use. And you can also go in and create new ones, delete shelves, load shelves that you've maybe downloaded from other people, settings that they've saved that you really liked. But if you go into the shelf editor, like I can go to my poly modeling and say I want the SVG tool to move around. I can place it wherever I like on my shelf. I can move stuff around. There is a Maya bonus tools. It hasn't been updated for 2022 yet, and one of the things in it is that it allows you to add extra separators. So that's these separation lines. It's really handy to be able to add extras, especially as you're customizing and doing things. Now, if you want to add buttons to your shelf, like these different commands that you see in plugins, what you do is you just go in and let's see, like what's something that's not on here. I believe detach isn't on here. I just Control Shift, click it, and you see it pops to the end of my shelf. So I can grab any of these and just add anything that I use often and put it on my shelf. And then I can go into that shelf editor and move that stuff around and group stuff however I like to have it grouped. And then last thing that you can do to help customize your Maya is you can create your own custom keybinds, so that if you have features that you use very often, they don't currently have keybinds on them. Like for example, I like to check my edge width and the border visibility on edge width, and we can see these do not have custom keys to them. So if I go into settings and preferences and hotkey editor, once you have the hotkey editor open, you can go in and you can go through and find whatever it is that you want to put a hotkey to. You choose it, assign a hotkey, and hit save. Nice and simple. Now, if the option that you choose already exists, it will give you an error and tell you that that hotkey is already in use. Personally, I use my G keys for a couple quick little functions, but you can hotkey anything. So as you start to use it more and more, you'll of course realize that the tools and the functions that you use most, and you can slowly build up your workspace to a setup that suits your purposes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day. And once again, thanks for all your support.